Hey everyone, this is Athanazo, and today we're going to run through some of the Doctor Who spoilers for the upcoming Universes Beyond set for Magic the Gathering. This Doctor Who crossover is kicking off soon and helps celebrate the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Magic released info and visuals for each of the Doctors and their companions, so let's run through them. The set is separated into 3 pre-constructed commander decks and some collector boosters. But in the commander decks, we'll get one called Blast from the Past that has the first 8 Doctors and is built around using artifacts, sagas, and legendaries. The second deck is called Timey-Wimey and includes the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctors and is based around using time counters and suspend. And then the last deck is Paradox Power. It has Doctors 12 and 13, and the goal is to cast cards from anywhere but your hand. So we'll see some interesting tricks there to get cards out of the game and then back into play. So let's get started with the first Doctor. This card can be used to directly tutor up the TARDIS card and rewards with +1 counters for playing spells with Cascade. The TARDIS itself gives Cascade to other cards, and that makes the first Doctor work more efficiently. His companion, Susan Foreman, taps for 1 green and is meant to integrate with Plane Chase. The second Doctor removes hand size, and both players can draw a card on their end step if they didn't attack that turn. Jamie McCrimmon, the companion card here, is a green trampler that grows whenever historic spells are played, based on their mana cost. Next we have the third Doctor, who grows based on non-creature tokens, while his companion, who rides a motorcycle on the artwork, grows whenever you cycle a card and grants all historic cards in your hand cycling. The fourth Doctor can play historics from the top of the library, and creates food tokens when you do, while his companion will create clue tokens for casting spells. Next is the fifth Doctor, who adds +1 counters to each creature that didn't attack and untaps them. And the companion here, Tegan Javanka, can give attacking historics +1 and indestructible. I'm kind of interested with this one as it goes into Commander with Virtue of Persistence. When you start adding 2 counters every turn, that could get pretty interesting. The sixth Doctor can create copies of other historics, and he can use his companion, Perry Brown, to give historics Convoke. Hopefully get a nasty chain going there on any historic that you cast with Convoke, just right into another historic. The seventh Doctor lets you play a little game when he attacks, and the game was really complicated. It involves picking a number and an artifact in your hand and then being able to cast it for free. But if you beat your opponent in this game, you get to cast the card for free, and if you lose, you get a clue token anyway. Then his companion Ace takes clue tokens and turns them into +1 counters, and she starts a fight with another creature. So even if you lose, you can potentially just knock another creature off the board. Alright, and the 8th Doctor is represented here after only being introduced for 1 TV film and a few later appearances. He can play a historic from the graveyard once per turn, but he has no companion as he never had one in the show. And that's all the Doctors in Blast from the Past. Sounds like it's going to be ripe with some combos. I feel like that's going to be a lot of historic chaining, giving extra things Convoke and Cascade. We're going to see some crazy business inside of there. Next off, though, is Timey-Wimey, and we start with the 9th Doctor, who provides an extra upkeep step, which helps remove some of the suspend counters, which is part of the theme of this deck. His companion, Rose Tyler, gets +1 for each time counter she has, and gains time counters based on other cards with suspend or time counters when she attacks. The 10th Doctor can suspend a card from the top of the deck whenever you attack, and has an active ability to add and remove time counters on permanents that already have them. This ability kind of works like a Proliferate, but you can add 1 or remove 1, so it kind of goes back and forth. It costs 7 mana though, so we'll see how often it actually gets played. Then the Donna Noble card reflects damage she takes to target opponent. The 11th Doctor works by attacking and dealing damage to a player, and when he does, you can exile a card from the top of your hand and add time counters to it, and it gains suspend. He does this because he has his own ability that gives target creature unblockable, so he can force himself through and use this mechanic. Then his companion, Amy Pond, also has an ability for when she deals damage to a player where she can remove time counters equal to damage dealt. So if he attacks and suspends a card, next turn he can force Amy through, and then she can attack and get the time counters off it and get it out. She can also tutor up her husband's card, Rory. The third deck, Paradox Power, kicks off with the 12th Doctor, and he can copy spells that are cast from anywhere except your hand, but then your opponent can also copy the spell. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Combat tricks, you get double, but they get 1, so we'll kind of see if that really works out too well and how this effect is really min-maxed. His companion, Claire Oswald, has an ability to make Doctor abilities trigger twice, and has an ability to be any color, which is great since all the Doctors and companions have companion for Commander, and she might be the only card that can represent the color black to get black into these decks. The 13th Doctor is able to distribute counters when you cast cards not in your hand, and she then untaps creatures with counters. Yasmin Khan can then tap to exile cards from a library to be played later. That's some good synergy between those two. And wow, that was a lot of Doctors. I can't believe we got through them that quick. We're still seeing a whole lot more come out. I know there's a whole lot of villain cards that I want to go through. We can look at some Dalek cards and Dalek creators and kind of look at that in the next video. So I'm going to cover some of that coming up here soon. But I hope you enjoyed this one. You're ready for Doctor Who. In-store release is going to be on Friday, October 13th. Wide release the Friday after that. So go out, enjoy it, have some fun. Maybe I hope there's some good pre-release events. I'm not going to be able to sign up though. We got to go pick up Baby Rudy that weekend. So Baby Rudy will be here after Doctor Who. But thanks for watching and take care.